Hello champions, hello ChessMood family. Today we will speak about a very important topic. Many chess players are having problems with remembering their opening variations, and they try different chess softwares which promise them very good memory. But at the end, after spending many hours on these chess softwares, at the end, unfortunately many chess players are still messing up their opening variations and having problems. What is the solution? In the article about memorizing variations, I have shared already that the key is not remembering but understanding. By the way, the link of that article you can find in the description. So when you not just remember but understand it, then you really improve, and that knowledge you can use in other positions. And here I will show you an example. In this position here, white played bishop g5, pinning the knight on f6, and now d5 pawn is hanging. In the game, my student played here bishop e6. This is okay move. Black develops the bishop defense, the d5. However, the bishop on e6 is not good. It limited with f7 and d5 pawn. So this is kind of a big pawn, not a very good bishop. So the move I would here consider to think about would be bishop g4, active way to develop the bishop and pin opponent's knight. The problem of this move is that we might lose the d5 pawn, so we need to calculate bishop f6 and bishop d5 or bishop d5 immediately. Let's start with bishop f6. We take queen f6, bishop d5. We lose a pawn, but is there any tactic that we can use and bring a pawn back? There is. I offer you to pause the video and try to find it. Okay, the bishop on d5 is not defended, and here we have bishop h2 tactic. White cannot take knight h2 because the queen hangs, and after king h2 we play queen d6 check. The next move we take the d5 bishop. And now we got the pawn back. Now the f3 knight is pinned, and white has a very weak pawn on d3. After rook a d8 it's gonna be very unclear for white how they are going to defend this pawn. So after bishop g4, if bishop f6, queen f6, it's all good for us. We have here bishop h2 check. Now let's see what if here white plays bishop d5 immediately. Okay, now we can do again same thing, bishop h2 check, king h2, queen d5. The difference is that now after bishop f6, gf6 we have similar position to the previous one, but now our pawn is not on g7 but it's on f6. Our king's position is ruined, but still we have here advantage, because again rook a d8 move is coming, and after that d3 pawn it will be very tough for white to defend, and also we want to take on f3 and ruin white pawn structure, and there is no way white can avoid this, because if knight d2 it closes the queen, and then we can take the d3 pawn. Also, at some point, we can use the g line for us to attack opponent's king. Imagine king h8, rook g8, somewhere queen h5, then we will start attack using the g line. Well, in the practical game here, to calculate the bishop g4 move and to check white's two options, what if bishop f6, what if bishop d5 immediately, and then evaluate the positions, it might take time, and especially during the blitz, it's very tough to calculate all that stuff and play here bishop g4. However, if in your mind you have lots of positions, which means you have analyzed different openings and you don't just remember it, but you understood it, it can help you very much. Here I will show you from where I knew these ideas with tactics and the evaluations of the position. Now I'll show you another opening, totally different one, where you will see lots of similarities. After e4, e6, French defense, d4, d5, here in our ChessMood courses we recommended bishop d3 move. A very tricky and practically very dangerous move for black. And after c5, ed5, ed5, c3, here there was this variation, cd4, cd4, knight c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, bishop d6, castle, castle, everything going symmetrical, bishop g5 and bishop g4, like part, repeating a white's move. And here I recommended rook e1 move. Now looks a bit strange, rook e1, because here black can take knight d4 using the pin, and also can take bishop f3 first, and after queen f3 take knight d4. But let's see what is happening. If black takes here knight d4, we take bishop h7, and after king h7, queen d4, bishop f3, gf3. Similar position, right, which we had with black color. Here is the position we had. Let me flip the board so you remember. Very similar to what we got, right? Now we wanted to take bishop f3 and the d3 pawn was hanging. Coming back to our position, we flip the board again. Okay, now not the d6 pawn, but the d5 pawn is hanging. And again, we want to remove the defender of d5 pawn, ruin opponent pawn structure, and win the d5 pawn. Also, the g line we can use for attacking opponent king, king h1, rook g1, queen h4, and so on. And here, white is doing very good. After rook e1, if your black takes bishop f3, queen f3, knight d4. Now there is queen h3 move, putting here pressure on h7 pawn. Now we want to take the defender of h7 pawn and then queen h7 checkmate. And if h6 here, there is a nice move, knight d5. Using that after hg5, knight f6, we take it with a check, and after queen f6, queen h7 checkmate. But with this variation rook e1, there was one more tactic. What if black plays here rook c8 and wait for us? Now the interesting thing is that we take bishop f6, queen f6, knight d5, queen h6. Now opponent tries to do the same motive to take the f3 and win the h2. But now there is a difference. Our rook is on e1, and after h3, black cannot take knight d4 because our rook is not on f1. And after hg4, knight f3, queen h2 is not a checkmate. We play king f1, then after check king e2, and we can defend our king with knight f3. We'll stay piece up. But in these variations there was one more tactic after queen h6, h3. What if black takes here bishop f3, queen f3, knight d4? I offer you to pause the video and find here the nice tactic white has. Okay, white has here a very nice move, bishop h7. If king h7, queen d3 check, and then win the d4 knight, staying pawn up. And after bishop h7, if queen h7, there is queen g4, very strong move. Now d4 knight hangs, and also we want to play knight f6 check and win opponent queen. If you watch the course and you just remembered this variation, there would not be much use. But if you here really understood the bishop h7 tactic, you understood the evaluation of this position, why here white pawn structure is ruined but still white has advantage, it would be much easier in the game to calculate bishop g4 move. Let me flip the board and we go through the variation very fast again. If bishop d5, bishop h2, king h2, queen d5, bishop f6, gf6, and here you would evaluate the position very fast because you would say, oh, this position I had in my mind, there was from the French course, and here we want to take f3 and also the d3 pawn very weak. Okay, so if in that position there was advantage, here should be advantage too. And after bishop g5, if here bishop f6, queen f6, bishop d5, knowing that bishop h7 tactic here, you easily would find this tactic with bishop h2, king h2, queen d6, and then queen d5. Very similar to the previous ones. So my message is, champions, don't try blindly, remember your opening variations. Much better to spend more time and understand that variations which you have in your files. And when you understand them, you first of all will play your variations much better, because even during the game you forget it, you will find it. And second, the knowledge from your variations, when you understood, you can use in totally different position using the same idea. So it's key to understand, not just remember. What is going to be today's homework? As always, I'm not going to give you an exercise so you will solve, but your homework will be different. Go to your opening files and try to remember variations which you are struggling to remember. Every time you are getting that position and you are failing to remember the right move. So go there and instead of remembering, try to understand. Look at to this position, try to understand why that move, why not that one. Try to understand it. If you have question, post it in our ChessMood forum or even in the section, comment section of this video. But don't try blindly remember. Understand what you are doing and you will really improve your chess. See you during the next daily lessons. I hope this is going to be a very important takeaway and it will help you to remember your variations. Ciao guys.